Yes, people, it's your boy Dan back again with another video. Gonna try and keep it a lot shorter this time. The last video was too long, like an hour long. But thank you once again for all the comments, all the likes, all the shares, all the subscribers. Mad love for that. Today is the third requested Surah reaction, which is from Newman Zara, who says, please react to the Scattering Winds Surah. And as I said, I've got two others to do first, which I did. Now I'm on to this one. So this is the Scattering Winds Surah. This is from the Omar Hisham Al-Arabi YouTube channel. I think he might be a famous singer. This is entitled Be Heaven Surah Ad Dariyat, Scattering Winds Surah. So yeah, let's go.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والذاريات ذروا فالحاملات وقرا فالجاريات يسرا فالمقسمات أمرا إنما توعدون لصادق وإن الدين لواقع والسماء ذات الحبك إنكم لفي قول مختلف يؤفك عنه من أفك قتل الخراصون الذين هم في غمرة ساهون يسألون أيان يوم الدين يوم هم على النار يفتنون ذوقوا فتنتكم هذا الذي كنتم به تستعجلون إن المتقين في جنات وعيون آخذين ما آتاهم ربهم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك محسنين كانوا قليلا من الليل ما يهجعون وبالأسحار هم يستغفرون وفي أموالهم حق للسائل والمحروم وفي الأرض آيات للموقنين وفي أنفسكم أفلا تبصرون وفي السماء رزقكم وما توعدون فورب السماء والأرض إنه لحق مثل ما أنكم تنطقون.
Alright, very interesting. Well, amazing voice for one. I think, yeah, obviously this guy is like a professional artist. Really good at the moment. Yeah, it's talking about heaven and hell. People asking for the day of judgment, saying they shouldn't be so hasty because it might be the day of their suffering. Saying that the good will receive the beautiful gardens of paradise and gifts from their Lord. Yeah, cool. Let's keep going.
هل أتاك حديث ضيف إبراهيم المكرمين هل أتاك حديث ضيف إبراهيم المكرمين إذ دخلوا عليه فقالوا سلاما قال سلام قوم منكرون فراغ إلى أهله فجاء بعجل سمين فقربه إليهم قال ألا تأكلون فأوجس منهم خيفة قالوا لا تخف وبشروه بغلام عليم فأقبلت امرأته في صرة فصكت وجهها وقالت عجوز عقيم قالوا كذلك قال ربك إنه هو الحكيم العليم قال فما خطبكم أيها المرسلون قالوا إنا أرسلنا إلى قوم مجرمين لنرسل عليهم حجارة من طين مسومة عند ربك للمسرفين فأخرجنا من كان فيها من المؤمنين فما وجدنا فيها غير بيت من المسلمين وتركنا فيها آية للذين يخافون العذاب الأليم وفي موسى إذ أرسلناه إلى فرعون بسلطان مبين فتولى بركنه وقال ساحر أو مجنون فأخذناه وجنوده فنبذناهم في اليم وهو مليم وفي عاد إذ أرسلنا عليهم الريح العقيم ما تذر من شيء أتت عليه إلا جعلته كالرميم وفي ثمود إذ قيل لهم تمتعوا حتى حين فعتوا عن أمر ربهم فأخذتهم الصاعقة وهم ينظرون فما استطاعوا من قيام وما كانوا منتصرين وقوم نوح من قبل إنهم كانوا قوما فاسقين والسماء بنيناها بأيد وإنا لموسعون والأرض فرشناها فنعم الماهدون ومن كل شيء خلقنا زوجين لعلكم تذكرون ففروا إلى الله وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو القوة المتين فإن للذين ظلموا ذنوبا مثل ذنوب أصحابهم فلا يستعجلون فويل للذين كفروا من يومهم الذي يوعدون
Wow, wow, wow. I mean, firstly, I think the what kind of struck me was that the switching between tenses was it was not I would say it's strange, but how it switched between we talking as God. I know God is referred to as we, and then switching between I. But I guess that's just the style it was delivered in. Yeah, I mean it was really really interesting to be fair. Yeah, they went over all the past civilizations that were kind of swept away by God, talking about the flood of Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, I think might have been mentioned. Previous generations that kind of looked upon the prophets and the messengers as people who are mad or seen as sorcerers, and it's basically saying don't see Muhammad as that, or you might, you end up falling the same way. I mean, it's interesting because in other texts they say, the Pharaoh Akhenaten was similar in a sense. His civilization was also polytheistic, and he brought the people to monotheism, to worship the one God, the one creator. And he managed to do it for his time of ruling, but when he died, the priests, they were just giving lip service and they went back to their society. But yeah, it's really interesting comparisons between all those over history who've tried to bring monotheism in a polytheistic time, and it's either gone well or it's not gone well, or yeah, I don't know. It's strange in the sense that I don't know. A lot of the nations now are under this. America have got one nation under God. A lot of Christian Islamic nations, if there is any, I mean there are such things, but a lot of Christian and Islamic nations have other faiths within them. But a lot of them have this one under one God kind of phrasing. Yeah, I mean, really good. I really like the tone of it, the singing of it. Talking about, they sent Moses to the Pharaoh with clear authority, and then they drowned the Pharaoh and his men. We all know that story. Let my people go. He went into the sea, and then they got drowned. Moses parted the seas. Yeah, it's really interesting. To be honest, I'll be interested to, because as you know, I'm a bit of I studied the law of one, the raw material, and one of the most interesting things I'll show you in here. Actually, I think as Muslim viewers, I think you'll find it really interesting. I'll just get it. Just give me a second. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm a big student of the law of one, the raw material. I've said that's really tied together a lot of things for me. Muhammad was mentioned in the law of one, the raw material, as I'll read to you in a second. You can see here. So I'd really like to react to a surah that talks about where God explains, or Allah explains the distortions of mind, body, and spirit relationships. So the relationship between mind, body, and soul, and how the mind, body, and soul relates to each other. I'd really like a surah on that because that's something I've found really interesting. So basically, the raw material, the law of one, there was an experiment. There was a scientific experiment conducted in the late 70s, early 80s by a physicist named Donald Elkins and his team, who was teamed up with a woman called Carla Rocket and another man called Jim McCarthy, and they came in contact with a race of ET beings who say they actually came to Earth in the ancient Egyptian times, and they're the reason that the pyramids are there. They're the reason that Pharaoh Akhenaten got rid of the polytheistic religion of his time and changed it to the law of one, the law of oneness. He changed his name to Aten, because the sun was seen as a symbol of oneness, because it's the life giver of this planet. I'll read it to you actually. So this is what the conversation said. That conversation with these ET beings. They said, in the 18th dynasty, as it is known in your records of space-time distortions, we were able to contact a pharaoh, as you would call him. That's Akhenaten. The man was small in life experience on your plane and was what this instrument would call wanderer. Thus, this mind-body-spirit complex received our communication distortions and was able to blend his distortions with our own. This young entity had been given a vibratory complex of sound which vibrated in honor of a prosperous god. As this mind-body-spirit complex, which we call instrument for convenience, would call Amun. So that's where the Amun-Ra thing comes in. The entity decided that this name, being in honor of one among many gods, was not acceptable for inclusion in his vibratory sound complex. So that name, he did not like it because it was specifying many gods instead of one god. Thus, he changed his name to one which honored the sun disk. The sun disk because the sun is the giver of life. Like a lot of Egyptologists want to tell us that the Egyptians worship the sun and the sun god. No, the sun disk was chosen as a symbolism of the one god, the one creator. So that got cleared up in these experiments with this ET contact back then. So he changed his name to one which honored the sun disk. This distortion called Akhenaten, who was the Pharaoh Akhenaten, I'm sure you all are aware of, was a close distortion to our reality as we understand our own nature of mind-body-spirit complex distortion. However, it does not come totally into alignment with the intended teach or learning which was sent. This entity, Akhenaten, became convinced that the vibration of one was the true spiritual vibration and thus decreed the law of one. Hence why the Pharaoh Akhenaten, it's a big mystery in Egyptology, in ancient Egyptian history, why one pharaoh out of all the dynasties changed their religion to worshipping one god and one creator and the law of one. This is why they say he had this distortion within him, and then they as ET beings, knowing the true distortion, the real truth of the universe about the one infinite creator and creation, they came to him to teach him more because they saw that he had the correct distortion to learn what they needed to teach him, learn the truth. So they say, however, this entity's beliefs were accepted by very few. His priests gave lip service only, without the spiritual distortion towards seeking. So the priests who had been polytheistic priests, they had to go along with it because he was the pharaoh, but they were only paying lip service. They were saying, yes, Pharaoh, we agree with you. We're going to teach this to the people, to the children in the schools, in the temples. Really, they were only teaching it out of fear of the Pharaoh, and they didn't really believe it. They didn't really go along with it. Behind his back, they were talking crap, saying, this is rubbish. This is not what we really believe in. We still believe in our old religious ways. The people continued in their beliefs. So the people continued in their beliefs. They were going along with the Pharaoh, but they really were just continuing in their polytheistic beliefs. And they say when this entity was no longer in this density, so when this entity Akhenaten died, again the polarized beliefs in the many gods came into their own and continued so until the one known as Prophet Muhammad, delivered the people into a more intelligible distortion of mind, body, spirit relationships. So this is one of the big reasons I'm interested in Islam, and I really want to know what the angel Gabriel taught to Muhammad about the relationships of mind, body, and souls. The relationship from mind to body to souls in Islam. What the Islamic teaching of that? Because that, according to the ETs, that's the most intelligible distortion on Earth, existing on Earth. That's the most intelligent knowledge on Earth, relating to the relationships between mind, body, and souls. That's the most intelligent. If you want to find that, you look into Islam if you really want to find that out, and that would tell you. So if anyone could suggest a surah which talks about the relationship between the distortions of mind, body, and soul, that would be great for me. But yeah, this is a really good surah. Thank you for the request again. I'll try and get back to as many comments as possible. I really liked this surah. It was good. What I did notice about this surah though is that they made out that, I know Muslims probably won't agree with this, but as long as you are a good person, your gateway to heaven will be there. But I know that's ties into following the Islamic way of life as well. So yeah, but really good, really interesting. Thanks for tuning in again. I've been your boy Dan. Short and sweet one today. Peace. Keep safe.